Hi, I'm Albert Yancey. I'm 50 years old, an entrepreneur, owner of Ebony and Ivory Expediter. I was born in Corpus, Christi, Texas, but at the age of 2 years old, my mother and father went their separate ways, and I landed in a small town in South Texas known as Victoria, Texas, where I grew up my pre-adolescent years up into my teen years and up until the time I was arrested. At the age of 11 years old, I learned that my father was found by some local fishermen floating in the Colorado River dead. This kind of allowed me to succumb to a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. Rather than verbally express myself to tell people how I was feeling with the absence of my father, I succumbed to the street life. I joined a gang at the age of 11 years old. I began selling marijuana, eventually cocaine and crack. And at age 17 years old, that lifestyle and the violence that came along with it, I discharged a 9mm that ended a 21-year-old man's life. And as a result of that, I was sentenced to life in prison at the age of 17 years old. And for many years, I bounced between medium custody, closed custody, all the while trying to find an identity with who am I? So I was introduced to WorkFaith by a great man who is also part of WorkFaith family. His name is Mr. John Warner, and he began to tell me about WorkFaith while I was incarcerated. And so coming to WorkFaith, being separated from society for 27 years, 5 months, and 1 day, I had the challenge of trying to rebuild life. Never having been employed before due to the fact I was only 17 when I went to prison. And so I had no work history, I had no resume, I didn't know how to effectively communicate. And so when I came to WorkFaith broken, confused, and just trying to find a blueprint how to navigate through life. So one of the things that WorkFaith had fortified me with is the ability that I can do anything that I set my mind to. So as a result of the dealership in which I landed the job exactly 90 days after being incarcerated, the dealership shut down. So instead of panicking, I pivoted. So I transitioned from being a car salesman to being a project manager of a concrete company. And then after that, now I merged and started my own business. So regardless of the chaos and conflicts that I faced in my transitioning, I was confident and sure that the God that I served while I was incarcerated would take care of me on my journey towards re-entering society. And so I want each and every one of you to know this. Outside of your labor not being in vain, understand one thing, that I'm just one seed of many that you've allowed to harvest and blossom in this great city of Houston, in the United States of America, and around the world. So I encourage you to continue to do what God has called you to do, because without men and women like you, without supporters like you, I need you to understand that there wouldn't be millions, thousands, hundreds of Albert James Yanceys going around the city, the world, and making an impact. We can always count the seeds in the apple, but we can't count the trees in the seed. God bless you.